All right, I just took a mighty shit. I thought I could hold it during the stream. That's not healthy. And I was ready to explode. And so I have poo-pooed, and now we are going to poo-poo with pen and ink. Right, create shitty drawings. Am I live? I am alive. I am live. Wonderful. Let us listen to my voice. See everything. Is it lagging? See if it's lagging. I need to make sure my hand, because yesterday apparently audio was fine, but my hand was not. With pen and ink, right? Create shitty. Okay, dude, it's like a 10, 15-second lag. So I will witness, we shall witness, bear witness to either lag or a lack of lag. Let's see what it looks like. Looks pretty good. Okay, cool. We are going to be, or I'm going to be, I hope you join me. We will be drawing interesting shapes, right? That's my goal. Draw interesting shape with function, silhouette, and yeah, and I'm trying to keep it simple. I want to do like two functions per shape, right? This I tried doing something and then it completely failed, but I'm really gonna think and I'll do my best to only look at the chat like every so often, like every 5, 10 minutes. Please, fucking talk. Not as if I have a huge following, but I do have people who enjoy my content. All this blabbering aside, let's just fucking draw. So what do I want to do? Well, I want to do the bottom angle, right? And what function do I want? Okay, I want to obviously practice with cylinders, but I want twist and I want hinge. Okay. I want twist and I want open and close, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. Right? So, and obviously I want an interesting silhouette. So what can I draw? Well, this will probably change as time goes on, of course, but I want twist, right? I want twist. I can already think of open and close, but how do I incorporate twist into this? Okay. Well, let's see. By the way, all of this is thinking. Like, I'm literally trying to visualize and really trying to use my mind a lot. I have such a bad habit of looking at the chat, bro. It's not good. Ooh, are people talking? Are they interested in me? Like, that's obviously what's running through my mind, right? Apart from a myriad of curse words, because that's all I am, apparently. But, okay, twist and open and close, i.e. hinge, right? Hinges are more than just opening and closing, but okay, twist and let's say one axis rotation. Now, let's see. I have a, okay. Was it what I was thinking of? Maybe, maybe not, right? What the fuck is my voice so crooked? Right. But, what am I thinking of? And I'll try to explain as much as I can what I'm trying to think of as well, right? Okay, so I think I know how to do, keyword being think. I believe, see, that's already incorrect. Okay, I believe I have a decent idea on how to do, the turn part. And now that this pen finally feels like working, I can actually fucking draw something of value, finally. Right, okay, I already messed this up because this is A too big, B, it's off center, but now I have to obviously adjust based on that, right? So, let's see. Twist and hinge, one axis hinge. So, and again, obviously I'm trying to think about silhouette, whatever the fuck that means to my current level of ability. This is fun though. So what I'm thinking about is I'm thinking about the box, right? I'm thinking about this perspective. I'm thinking about these manipulated shapes. I'm obviously trying to find a function and shapes as to how this can insinuate and very clearly declare that a pivot, i.e. a turn or a rotation, is being applied. And also obviously trying to think about unique shapes in which this can be applied to. Maybe, and again, like there's different angles that can possibly be calculated, right? It's very difficult. Hey, Razor Chi, what's up? And OMG, I finally catch you live. Hi. Dude, Roxanne, you know what's funny? I was literally about to talk about in today's stream. I was about to bitch being like, what happened to the OGs? What happened to Hiya Buddy? What happened to Roxanne GM? Right? I was literally thinking that today and yesterday. I was telling my girlfriend too. I'm like, baby, they might not remember me, but I remember them. Right? I was actually thinking that today too. It's hilarious. Okay. No, that's awesome. I'm glad you're here. I'm really glad you're all here. Let's all draw to the best of your ability and how hard you can think. Let's all okay. So like I feel as if I've clearly created a very strong constraint with the fact that this is limiting what can happen here. But this is where form blending or form combination can come into play, right? So I think I can still create a rotation and twist, but let's see. I don't know why my voice is so fucking hoarse, by the way. I literally don't know why. But okay, I think I can start creating a unique, I can already start relatively envisioning a unique silhouette, relatively being the operative word, right? And yeah, everybody draw along. Please, for the love of fucking God, draw along, because this is not going to entertain you. If it does, wonderful. But, let's draw, right? Okay. Now, this is obviously where, let's see. Okay, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking that I want to create a multiple rounded cylinder here, and then I want to create the pivot, the rotation, right? The shape that's going to inform that here, because we want it to like this is very difficult, and this I'm going to take my time, right? The point of the stream for the next 2 hours is just to design interesting shapes that have function. But I'm thinking I'll have it rotate here, right? So I'm constantly thinking about the fucking perspective. And that was a huge mistake, I believe. But it's okay, because it feels good to make mistakes. Oh, it feels so good to make mistakes, right? Let's see. Now, okay, like clearly that was very off, but can we save it? Can we save it, right? Because obviously I want some sort of rotation to occur. Hold up. Okay, so, and you can see this is a skill right here, being able to fill a cylinder behind an established cylinder. I still struggle with that, very, very much so, right? Okay, so I think I know how I can change the rotation to make sense. I think I know how I can change the rotation to make sense. So we'll do something like this, right? Let's see. And right now it's going to be it's just I love this. I love how fucking difficult this is because like again, think about the box. Now I have to think about the silhouette. I'm thinking about the shapes inside the box. I'm thinking about the manipulated shapes inside the box. And now obviously I have to think about function and like how this works, right? Something like that. Okay. Let's see. And yeah, perspective is definitely off already. But it's okay because we're gonna try to figure out how we can make this make sense. Okay, if I want to indicate rotation, oof, so what do we want to do? We want to have it start here. We can do that much. And yeah, like there's a lot of logic to be worked out too in terms of centering. That is also very difficult, let's not forget, right? So let's see. Okay. Let's see what the fuck I can do. That's my thinking noise. Okay, I already fucked up the perspective. We know that. We know that I fucked up the perspective. Now it's just how can I ensure that it's it's okay. And adding little details like this, I find at least create some level of believability. Hey, Green! Holy shit! Green came back! You fucking cunt, what is up? I actually did forget about you. But now I remember again. Listen, you can only remember so many people, bro. Leave me alone, I'm sorry. Okay. And okay, so what is this shape? So I hope this is gonna create the figuring out the logic behind this is gonna be very difficult because these are twisting around, right? So it's yeah, it's something like that. Dude, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, it's something. Like I sound like a fucking chain smoker, Jesus Christ. Right? So And it's only apparently when I stream. I don't, that never happens. That never happens to me clearly when I'm fucking just out and about in my day. Okay, so this is not, because I'm not overlapping here, right? So that didn't look that good. But does it indicate rotation, right? What does it indicate rotation? I don't know, because I feel as if there isn't a strong enough pivot to indicate rotation. What can I do here? Can I do anything here, perhaps, that will appease the rotation gods? Right? Okay, so we're still thinking about the box. We're still trying to create some sort of rotation here, right? Okay, well, clearly I can start integrating the hinge again, right? Something like I can start integrating it, that's for sure. So clear it'll be like this, right? It's hinging like that. 1K coming soon. Oh shit. Yeah, right, dude. Again, that video, my friend even said, and I actually said it before him. We clearly thought the same thing. I'm like, that video is my magnum opus because finally I feel like I finally really put into perspective what a beginner I was and that it's just the work I did, right? And that anybody can do that work. I obviously feel so strongly about it. By the way, while I'm talking, I'm building the skill of seeing the perspective and thinking about the silhouette and thinking about like all that shit, right? I'm still these are all skills that I'm still focusing on building. So now another thing is like, okay, clearly I've constrained myself with this, and I never really thought about properly what this would be, right? Like how this would connect. And clearly, I am now committed to making that sharp edge. So now we have to think, okay, perhaps, and this is where design comes into play, right? And again, spatial reasoning part of it, always part of design. But it's like, okay, what function should this serve? Should this serve the function? Like, what should it serve, right? What function? And this is like the hardest part because I'm okay. Again, I want to keep clarifying what I'm thinking about, right? And I love this. I love this challenge. And I hope this is very realistic on like how long this shit takes me because this is what I'm not thinking. And this is what I am thinking. You might not see a difference, but here I'm really trying to think about purpose and function. And here I was just thinking about, okay, like what angles look nice. This was pure aesthetics. This is a function, or sorry, a mix of function and aesthetics, right? So what I'm thinking about is no, actually I'm doing the bottom up perspective, right? So I'm thinking about the box, right, this way, but this is the plane. This is the bottom plane, right? Because we choose what the top plane and the bottom plane is. Like, what way are we looking at? Right now, we're looking at this from the bottom, right? So I have to think about that this thing is actually the bottom. Like, how does a silhouette with this, like, what is this thing silhouette? But, like, what is the silhouette from the bottom? Because this is what we're thinking about, you know? But, apart from that, I'm thinking about the box. I'm thinking about the simple shapes, right? Like one shape, another shape, maybe another shape here. This is also a shape. I'm thinking about the simple shapes, and now I'm obviously trying to think about the complex manipulations occurring within those simple shapes, and I'm thinking about line quality. While all of that's happening, I'm consistently trying to think about function and silhouette, right? And design, like different ratios and shit. So what I listed 7 things that I'm essentially trying to juggle all at once, right? So okay, let me take a break. Not because I want to, but I do want to engage with the fans, right? There's gonna be a point, and I'm sure you all know this. There's gonna be a point a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 from now where I just won't be able to engage with everyone. But while I can, I still would like to. So taking a little break, right? And let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, Roxanne says, "OMG, you're right. You almost hit 1K." Yeah, I know. It must be crazy for you because you didn't pull up for a few months, and it's only because of that video. Because that video was the right combination of the title and the thumbnail, and obviously the contents of it are just me just fucking pouring my heart out, being like, "You can do it, you can do it." So it resonated with people. But yeah, that's why. And Razor Tree says, "I wanted to ask you during the last stream, what drawing do you want to base it on, like style or something?" Okay, there's nothing I'm basing it on, right? If I pull up my Pinterest, right? And today I actually haven't even studied my Pinterest or anything like the board that I have. I hope this doesn't dox me, because I mean, fuck off, Apple, Jesus Christ. Hold up, I'm just pulling up my iPad, right? So I have a board, and let's see, hard surface board, right? Okay, give me a sec. The fuck, Wi-Fi is not connecting. Okay, is it connected now? Yeah, it's connected now. Let's go to hard surface board. Is it gonna pull up? Okay, there you go. So this is what I do. This is what I do, right? Like I try to look at this and like, what is he doing? What is this guy doing, right? Like what's happening here, you know? And I'm just trying to figure it out. You see how this is incredibly pleasing? It's simple, graphic, big shapes, big, medium, and small. I'm not doing any of that, clearly, but I'm really trying to think about all of that, right? This is obviously very high level, but this is the standard I hold myself to, right? So this is what I'm thinking of, and I hope you guys can see it. I know the ring light's in the way, right? But like all of this shit, you know? And I have a shit ton, hard surface, like and I just try to think about as much as I can, right? So I don't really reference it per se in the sense that I'm not basing it off of anything, but I'm basing it off of the principles that I can understand when it comes to line weight, silhouette, big, medium, small, gesture, a million things, right? But right now it's really just function and the few things that I listed, right? And you can find this on Pinterest by literally just typing in hard surface design, concept art, hard surface design. You'll see all of these. But in terms of function, let's see what we're trying to do. Okay, so should I close this? I probably should close this, right? And another mistake I made, right? Like this doesn't seem like it's connected too well, but if I do something like that, at least now it seems like it's centered, right? At least now it seems like it's centered. There you go. That's not bad, right? I say right for everything apparently, but okay. Now, obviously, now that I've seen that, like now that we've seen the examples that I pulled up, we got to find out whether I can also learn something from them, rather than just some vague shit that just kind of makes sense to me, kind of doesn't. So if this is from the bottom, perhaps I can simply, because I noticed that there's a lot of jut outs, right? A lot of these additions, and I don't believe I actually understand them as well as I should. Yeah, definitely not as well as I should, but, and line weight is a whole nother thing that comes out beyond all of this, right? Um, Say right one more time, Vicky. Say it right. Okay, great, thank you. Uh, I also have to think about the other side here. So let's just say it's also coming down, and then we have a diagonal, and then it's coming back here. Okay, and now it's clearly. But the question is, you saw from that example, these people are like who are like these concept artists, they're doing a million things at once. So, and the thing is, I have to find that balance between aesthetics and function, right? So it's incredibly difficult because they're so intertwined. But at the same time, the artist who has the skill, right? The artist who has the skill does have the liberty to okay, see, I think I can maybe do something like this. Maybe it's connected like that. I don't think that made much sense. But the artist who builds that skill, they have the liberty to balance that function and that skill, right? I don't have that liberty because I haven't practiced it enough, right? And now we know, like the space here, I have made it extremely convoluted, right? Yeah, who doesn't have the skill? Exactly. But that's just how it is. That's just the way it goes, right? So all we can do is, this is the bottom. So maybe I want to add, it's too convoluted already, but for the sake of me just trying, this should be relatively simple. So we could just add another cutout right there. And I've already fucked it up. I literally have already fucked it up. So we're just gonna ignore that. So it's really, really bad. Um, but it's okay, right? It's completely fine that it's really bad. Because what am I doing right now? I'm forcing myself to feel good. I'm just forcing myself to feel good because I've recognized this error. I've done that now. I've recognized this error, right? And all I can do now, because it's off center here, and maybe I can do something like that. But all I can do now is just see, I keep adding things, and that's a mistake. I keep adding things. I have a tendency to keep adding things, right? So now it's completely unreadable here, completely. So what I could do is just, fuck it, we'll just block it out. Because obviously I wasn't thinking as much as I should have, right? And maybe that makes it a bit better. Maybe. Maybe, there you go. We added some symmetry. Maybe that's a bit better. Obviously, I have to think about, oh, that's a mistake. See, the line just went in. Should think about multiple rounding, you know? Okay, so now, whatever. Okay, this thing is supposedly rotating. Oh, I know how I could add the rotation here, or at least I know how I can try to implement it. Uh, there you go, something like that. Right now, what we're doing is we're going around a cylinder, because this is a cylinder, right? A hinge is a cylinder. So what I'm thinking of is just A, how to unfuck this, because it's already not that good. But, and if we're saying that this is the base, we know that products usually have like that little rubber sticky stuff, right? To to ground it. So like there you go, that's the base. Again, this is all a mistake. Everything that happened here is all a mistake, right? I wasn't thinking, and that's the thing, I just wasn't thinking, and drawing is thinking, right? So now what I'm trying to think of right now is just how we can keep making this go in, actually. And I keep making the mistake with the cylinder wrapping around it, and that's completely on me. Okay, so there we have our cylinder. And it's also a hinge, because now we know like it's gonna rotate through here. That's wonderful. But now it's also a hinge, right? Because it's attached there. And that makes it actually, that makes the function believable, to the best of my knowledge, right? To the best of my knowledge, that makes it functional. So now, really, it's just we have to keep this, I would like to think, as the main thing, right? Like this is something that's rotating, right? Hopefully it conveys that it's rotating. Oh, but if it doesn't, I think I can do something else. So we've already established that this is a hinge. So let's finish the hinge, right? Let's finish the hinge. Okay. And this is where obviously I'm trying to design, function, all that stuff, right? It and I've already made a mistake here, so I just have to go with it. Let's see. Okay, yeah, already made many, many mistakes here, but okay. We can do this, and then for clarity's sake, and that wasn't very clear at all because there was supposed to be a fucking proper, yeah, that wasn't very clear at all. But hey, this is usually what something that's rotating looks like. And obviously I'm kind of going into the drawing behind it, but let's see if that works. Right, does that look like it's gonna rotate? Maybe, probably not, but maybe. Right? Okay, cool. And that's just me noodling. Do not do that. Or at least do your best not to do that. And again, I'm trying to visualize, okay. Again, what's a nice silhouette for this? Who knows? We're just trying to figure that out right now. Because again, from those examples that I showed, clearly they're doing very large abstract shapes. So maybe I can do the same thing here. Right? Maybe I can do the same thing here. And I'm just trying to figure it out, by the way. Like again, it's like what angles are nice, right? What fucking what angle lengths, what ratios, what about a cutout, what about a subtraction, what about this, what about that? Like that is what I understand the problem solving process to be with my current level of skill, right? Like that's just what I find to be the things I should focus on. Now, see, I've now, I think I've done something pretty cool here. Where like this, it's manipulated, it's going this way, but now it's also uh, basically matching this hinge. Now I know, like, okay, That is not bad, right? At least I know that that's not that bad, right? Is it over designed? Yes. Is it complicated? Yes, because it's over designed. But I'm gonna keep thinking. Clearly, I'm gonna keep thinking about how I can connect these, right? And maybe we'll have a subtraction here, right? Something. Okay, so I already made a mistake here. At least it wasn't what I intended. I don't believe, right? But this is where this is kind of where improvisation along with function comes into play. Now, this is kind of an interesting shape. I think it looks relatively interesting. Do I think that it really makes sense? No, 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 no. I do not. But there is some level of interest. And yeah, single rounding, something like that. I feel as if that is pretty good because it's simple, right? If I were to add these, again, these are patterns that I've noticed amongst these concept artists, what they do with hard surface, right? So, and again, I'm always thinking about the box to the best of my ability, but I made a lot of mistakes. I think you guys can 100% tell that this is a mistake. Even this back here is pretty fucking garbaggio, right? But it's okay. Because now we just have to think, okay, that was a mistake, as you saw, right? I'm sure it's very evident that was a mistake. Something like that, right? So it's hinged here, and obviously we can see if we do this, like right around there. I'm trying to match these. I already made a mistake because it's not becoming way too, it was too far apart. But it kind of looks like something. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I mean, you're probably just gonna say, I like it or I don't like it, and some variation of that. But can you see the effort I'm putting in? Can you see how hard I'm working? Let's see. Oh, that's a mistake. That's a complete fucking mistake. It's okay. We just have to commit now, right? That's why I hate ink. No, this is actually why you should love ink. Because now this has forced me to think bars. But no, this is literally why you should love ink. Because you see how I have to be decisive, right? And the thing is, without only drawing in ink, I wouldn't be able to even achieve this level of decisiveness, in my opinion. And actually, no, it's not opinion, it's a fact. I just would not be able to achieve this level of decisiveness without, and I still have to figure out this. I still have to figure this out. And this is beauty. This is the beauty of ink, everybody. This is the beauty of ink. Because you are simply training your ability to make confident decisions, right? You're training your mind. If you hate it because it's difficult, then please, I would suggest you don't, right? For just to be simple about it, I guess. Because never forget, everything is a skill. Okay, that's already off. And everything is trainable. How long have you been drawing? Goat milk. What's up, goat milk? I've been drawing for 3 years and 3 weeks. I started drawing November 1st, 2022, and for the first 2 years, I practiced for 5 to 7 hours a week. And now that I'm jobless, for the past 9 months, I've been practicing for seven to 10 hours a week. Let's say, yeah, on average. But yeah, that's it. Watch all my videos. See my progress. I'm so funny. Somebody give me money. Bars. I didn't even make to make that a bar. I'm a god. A lyricist. Okay, so this is also connected, but we don't see too much of that. We just see it kind of like that, right? So this is over designed. I need to take a step back and under design, as in stop drawing, put the pen away, give up on fucking drawing, right? If goat milk is wondering what I did to get good, literally just watch this. This is a video for beginner artists. That's a mistake too. I just wasn't thinking. All right, watch every single video of mine. Just watch every single one. Okay, so there's clearly some disconnect here. Well, that was a mistake, right? Millions of mistakes happening. QTE says it's interesting, but I can't understand what it is. All I know is that it's a mechanical thing. Thank you, I appreciate it. Well, I'll break down the function I was trying to showcase, and this is why like it's extremely difficult, right? Also misaligned, also perspective is off, right? And these all make me feel very good, by the way. Like I'm literally just forcing feelings where I feel good because that's all I can do. And you can see it's off center. Okay. Is that it? Was that all the shit that I needed to portray? I don't know. I don't know. There's a few things that are off. A few, my guy. Fucking hundreds of things. But let's try to break down the function. Goat milk soda, that's great for an hours a day. Viggy is kind of jobless. Kind of jobless. I'm really jobless. But hey, the point is, I did the exact same thing even when I had a job. Okay, like the only thing that changed when I don't have a job is I drew for an extra hour a day. I've just replaced the things, the hours that I spent working with more of what I already do, and I'm learning coding now, so like that's another thing, right? But the point is, the amount of hours really didn't change. Okay, like I achieved, and I will continue to achieve no matter what, no matter how busy I am. 1 hour a day, 5 days a week is still more than enough because I'm purely focusing on fundamentals, right? And message retracted. How dare you? How dare you retract your message just because I didn't understand it? Okay, so here's what we're trying to do. I was trying to create a rotation here, right? I was trying to make this thing look like it was rotating. So it's a pivot, right? So I was trying to do this, right? Fucking Jesus Christ, what a horrible fucking arrow, but and I fucked it up too. Whatever. I completely fucked it up. It was supposed to be on the other side. But the point is, I was trying to make this look like it's rotating in perspective. And then I was trying to make it this look like this can come out. Like this is hinging, right? It's something that can open in perspective. Very difficult because again, um, I'm trying to find that balance between complexity as well as simplicity in terms of like complex shapes but still simplicity in how I present them, which is design, by the way. That's design, right? Very difficult skill, and also complexity and like simplicity in terms of function. Two functions, right? This is just two functions. So let's see, and then the hinge is like this. That's just what I was trying to do. But we're gonna move on to the next one now. I do feel like the silhouette's pretty interesting, but I want to push the silhouette. I want to focus on something cylindrical for the silhouette. And I know I said that I'd do that with this one, but clearly my inclination to avoid cylindrical shapes is something I should focus on. So we'll try to even make it more simple, right? We'll try to make it even. How long have I been streaming for? Only half an hour. Wonderful. See, but you guys see that took me half an hour, right? That took me half an hour. It didn't take 5 minutes, and I hope you saw and heard the process in my mind that I was going through continuously as I went, as I went through the drawing, right? So I'm glad also the stream is much cleaner now, right? I changed some settings in OBS, so let's see. Oh, and I guess for those of you curious as to how you can achieve this, because I would like to break it down every now and then, right? This, if this fucking pen would allow, is just this, right? And this is another thing where you kind of have to do your best to think about it. Fucking, this pen is gonna be the death of me. Right, this is just this, right? Like this right here. And then, let's see, what else is it? It's also just this, right? And then you can say that it's kind of like combined. I'm not the best at form combinations still because I haven't done that in the ArtWad roadmap to as many hours as I could, right? So that's actually that's probably inaccurate. I would like you to ignore the accuracy of that, but I hope the what's it called, the overall shapes that I'm explaining makes sense, right? Like I'm pretty sure like and I wasn't thinking there either because I do have to think. Form combination is not something I'm so good at, especially when it comes to elliptical shapes or cylindrical shapes combining with each other. I'm pretty sure it should have been more like this. Yeah, more like that. That's a bit better. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Angel says, "What's up? Yo, Angel! I'm currently following Tom Fox's drawing from imagination perspective. I'm also learning Python 3 with a little front-end development as well. Incredible. You're basically me, but better in every way. You should be proud of yourself." Right? And then Razor, she just says hi to Angel. What is up? Everybody draw along. But, oh yeah, like, so that's what this is, right? And this may already be very complex for you. So again, it all goes back to doing the simple shapes, right? Because if you're unable to visualize the contours and to problem solve, by the way, it's all problem solving. If you're unable to problem solve where these contours meet, then you just need to draw many more cylinders and boxes to be able to understand that this thing's contours is just the face of the plane, right? Like when people say contour, I understand that word may be confusing in of itself. What they just mean is the plane. Like they just mean the face, right? Like they just mean this. So it's just, this is basically projected back infinitely until it stops. This 3D object has a plane which just keeps going infinitely, right? It just keeps going, right? And then when it's intersecting, it's just where does this, like what part where this meets and this meets, like what part do, like where do they stop, right? And sometimes, and many times you can actually choose where they stop. Fuck intersections again. They're difficult, but you should really embrace doing them, because doing difficult things completely separate from the fact that it's an intersection or it's a combination or it's visualizing a mannequin or making a very manipulated mannequin. Like all of these things are difficult, right? So it isn't fuck intersections. What you're saying is fuck doing difficult things, and I highly encourage you to reframe that. You're all young. Apparently, for some reason, many people who watch my channel are young. So if there's one thing I can instill in you at your age is embrace the challenge and the effort you put towards building difficult things, because the output, and don't focus on the result of I draw this difficult thing. The output is I'm capable of putting in the effort and building the skill of doing this difficult thing, right? I really don't, because I guess if younger people are watching my channel, right, I want you to take away the right lessons and the right mindsets, right? Not the fucking, oh wow, drawing cool things, drawing complicated things. No, because 5 years from now, I'll just be someone who has the ability and the skill to put in the effort to do more complicated things and to problem solve more complicated problems when it comes to spatial reasoning, design, function, right? All those things. So alongside, like, drawing people, scenarios, like all those things, it's just problems. There's just problems to solve, and you'll never be able to escape problem solving. And I don't say that in like, oh no, it's something to run away from. I'm just saying it's a fact of life is problem solving, right? You have chosen the skill art. Then you just have to think, do I want to get good or not, right? There's no in between. Like, do I want to get good or not? And because you're all young and because you all enjoy art, it just comes down to training yourself to enjoy doing difficult things, right? This is just the outcome, but the output just now is the output is me just now spending half an hour and having the patience and the foresight and spending all that mental energy to be able to produce something like this, which is, I don't care about this. I think this looks like ass. I think it doesn't look like ass. I don't care. I literally don't care. All I know is, damn, that's amazing. I actually tried, and some things worked, some things didn't. Let's try to focus on that for the next one, right? That's it. That's literally it. Can you show us some of your best drawings? I don't really have best drawings. Like, if you go to my channel, every single video is my attempt at just doing my best, right? So, yeah, like people keep asking about my sketchbooks and my best drawings, right? Like, all I have is this, and this is already all on my live streams, right? If I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, how old are you, Biggie? I'm 28. I'm 28. I literally turned 28 like a month and a half ago, right? 97 born. I'm actually the same age as Sam does arts. So I guess that's something. But okay, so let's just to put into perspective for you guys, right? Just to put into perspective, right? No pun intended, right? Okay, here you go. This was my first drawing a scene from imagination, right? This was somebody asked what the fuck? Okay, yeah, no, it's all the same. Never mind. I thought I was just tripping. This was my first drawing from imagination. You can see this on my channel. Go to the playlist, Road to Kim Jong-il. I started drawing from like scenes from imagination because I had a very lengthy conversation with Broken Draw, Tyrion, right? Broken Draw. He was my 11th subscriber. I'm gonna keep fucking shilling that, or like keep repeating that, just so people know I'm actually important, special. But he said, bro, you just gotta do it, because he's like, your understanding of form is so solid, like you're really getting it, so you just gotta do it. This was my first attempt at drawing from imagination, right? First attempt. A scene from imagination, because all I do is train my ability to draw forms from imagination, right? And then, this was my second. You can see I still have a huge issue with like overcrowding, right? All that stuff. This was my third attempt, right? And I did these back to back. So like when I was practicing, this was over the course of a week, right? Sorry, I did the first two back to back because they took each 3 hours. And then I did these two. This was my third one, right? This I couldn't even finish, but this was my fourth one, right? And then I started doing them on live streams. I started doing them on live streams, right? Yeah, so this is like when I decided, hey, live streams, I'm also gonna do a lot of imagination drawing. So that's my fifth one. This is my sixth one, right? So it's like back and forth. I can kind of understand how to put details. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do, right? But then you can see like huge issue with readability. This is my sixth one, right? But you see how I'm just getting better and better because I'm doing it over again. And by the way, between each like 2 to 3 drawings for imaginations is like 20 to 30 hours of, or let's say like, yeah, anywhere from 10 to 30 hours of fundamentals practice, which you can see as my videos on the channel, right? Seventh one, eighth one, and then between this one took me bare time because I was like fucking just being extremely lazy about finishing it, right? 10th one. So think about it. I've only done like what, 10, 11 drawings, scene drawings for imagination. I don't consider these my best drawings, by the way, but if people were to be like, wow, that's a nice drawing, I think these are the ones that, where the fuck did my paper go? Did I put everything away? Oh shit. Where I was like, where'd my paper go? Shit. There it is. Yeah, there, my bad. But yeah, like those are my best drawings. I don't care about them. I literally have zero feelings towards my drawings because I've trained myself to be purely effort and skill acquisition. That's it. All right. I'm proud of the person I am when I do these drawings and when I try. I'm not proud of the drawings because pride isn't even part of the equation anymore, right? It literally isn't. So let's see. How I'm very aware of the roadmap and I see my improvement every day. Oh, dude, what the fuck? The camera got affected. Sorry about that. What the fuck? Wait, did the camera get affected? Yeah, it did, maybe? I don't know. I'm gonna leave it. Hold up. Sorry, I have to check if everything's working properly. Is it lagging? I hope it's not lagging. Shit. Okay, so nothing changed. Hopefully nothing changed. Sorry about that. I didn't realize. Okay, so I'm very aware of the roadmap and I see my improvement every day, and I'm shocked that you remember my age. OMG, I thought you were like 19 years old. No, I'm 28. Bro hates sketchbooks. I really do. Again, like I've realized I'm the type of artist where I'll do like a drawing here and there. I have so many sketchbooks because I actually like them, and I keep looking for a sketchbook which has printer paper quality because this is the best paper. Kim Jong-il said this too, and I agree. Like for just pen and ink, I personally just think A4 printer paper is like the best. I just get the nicest feeling and quality of lines, and there's just the right amount of friction, which is very little, right? But not like marker paper. Um, Let's see. Let's see. Damn, they're very cool. Thank you, Razorichi. I only saw the last one on stream. Yeah, yeah, but it's all streamed. It's all recorded, right? Mao popularity should totally drop piddles from Hopes and Yo-Yo, but in a swimsuit. Okay, what is this Hoops and Yo-Yo shit? They're like the number one video that people are getting segued from towards my this videos for beginner artists. Where the fuck are you? What the fuck is this? I don't know what that is. And then Q2E just says no. I don't know what you're saying no to. Are you saying no to the fact that when I said you should try difficult things? Because I really encourage the younger people here. Please change your mindset because it's a skill. Mindsets are a skill, and all you need to know is that it works, right? But anyways, you take it, you don't, right? At the end of the day, I'm gonna keep drawing and improving. I would just really encourage everyone to A, right here, draw along, and B, focus on feeling good for mistakes and really trying to focus on ensuring that what they're doing is is approached with a positive mindset and a mindset where you're like, I'm just learning, because that's it. You're just learning. You're not doing anything else. You're just learning. All right. Already fucked that up. Let's see. Okay, I want to think. Obviously. Okay, that's a relatively interesting silhouette. I'd like to believe, right? This is the perspective. Let's see. I already fucked this up as well, but let's see. Okay, something like that. No, no, the live isn't lagging. Oh, great. That's good to know. That's good to know. Why do people delete their messages just because I don't understand it? Bro, I'm not trying to insult you or call you out. I'm just fucking confused. Mao Pacao or no, Mao Populare. Populare, Mao, please. Okay. See, I started this without even thinking about function. I just had an aesthetic in mind. But I still want to focus on pivoting. So how about we just make one function? Pivot. Okay? We'll start very simple for my own sake, right? We'll do one function, which is pivot. And now here we have to think about design, which is also very fun, right? And by the way, the perspective here is this, guys. It's this, to the best of my ability. It's this, right? So that's where everything is going, right? That's the perspective. Okay, just so you're aware that I'm constantly thinking about it, right? I'm never ever going to discount the fact that I'm constantly thinking and that art takes a lot of effort. And I hope that again, like I hope that really inspires people that is like it's just effort. It's just effort and thinking about specific things. Right? There's never a quotient of like, oh, you're just pulling it out of your ass, right? Intuition is basically what we view as talent, right? Which is just extreme amount of repetitions that it's internalized via neuroplasticity. So I hope that's I hope that's very clear, right? Okay, so design. What the fuck is it, right? Was ist Design? Oh, totally have the design. Anyways, we can maybe be like, okay, like big, medium, small, sure. So I can try something like, okay, see, you have to keep it very relatively even. There's already a million perspective mistakes here. But that's the thing. I can recognize these perspective mistakes because my standard is perfection. Perfection isn't the goal, but perfection is a standard. And when you keep evaluating and you keep building your eye to see all the tiny nuances, suddenly it's like, okay, well, I just have the ability, right, to keep working towards perfection as a standard. So, okay, let's see. Well, and this is more of a design and silhouette exercise than function because we're keeping the function very simple, right? We're keeping the function very simple. And again, really trying to think about the perspective at all times. Right? And I feel as if this is going to look relatively interesting in terms of silhouette. You ask about something, and when someone replies, you read it after 1 minute. You forgot your question. Yes, you're exactly right. You should don't even be surprised. Simply expect this at this point. There's no fucking need to be surprised, because like clearly I've proven that I can't fucking keep everything in my mind at once. Which I hope goes to show that hey, I am thinking, right? I am thinking, and it is very difficult. Okay, uh, we can do something like that here as well. That's a mistake. The line was too vague. These lines are not articulated well enough from a perspective standpoint. Right, that's whatever. Like it's just a mistake that we have to deal with. And if you're wondering like how are you coming up with all these ratios and these variations and all that stuff, purely just through sheer effort in trying to ideate, being like, what's different? What's something different I can do? It's not like I'm thinking in terms of like and what's different in terms of like, can I do a cutout this way? Can I do a cutout that way? Should I give enough space? Should I condense it? What's coming afterwards? So it's just ideation. Like I don't know how else to explain it, and I really wish I could explain it in a way maybe that's hopefully better, right? I do apologize if the explanation isn't enough, but it's purely just like right now. Let's say you're drawing a box, right, and you're just starting to get decent. Okay, let me give an example. I guess right. You're drawing a box. You draw a box. It's like this, right? And you're like, I can do this a lot. And then you learn about manipulating, or you're learning manipulations, right? And you're like, okay, so manipulations of like we can change the contour. So like I can, so now because at least the way I did it is like, okay, I know diagonals are a manipulation, right? I know fucking just doing like a cutout that follows a perspective, like squares, or manipulation. So I was like, okay, let me do my absolute best to think and like visualize the plane, right? And be like, okay, what? Maybe, okay, I just did that line at this length. Maybe something interesting, and I'm thinking about the angle, right? And this is like the center line, and this is I'm keeping the size of the box in mind. It's like maybe I do a cutout, like I do a diagonal that's this big. And now maybe like okay, like what if this is a good idea? What if I add half an ellipse, right? And then now I go, okay, like let me calculate. Okay, so this is the perspective, this is how big it is, right? Roughly, like I'm trying to calculate, right? Okay, so I think it's like this, right? And then we do that. And then I'm like, okay, what can I do at the sides? Because every line, every plane, every side, something can be done, right? And maybe this is too much, because maybe you can only think about one side and one manipulation, right? So let's just say, like, to keep it simple, because I literally can't think of anything else, I'm like, I'm just gonna follow this and make it a bit longer. But then I come here, I'm like, oh, maybe I can continue following the box. And now maybe, let's just say I want, in perspective, to make like a rounding that goes and follows that. And it's like, okay. And then you're like, wonderful. Okay, so I created this plane, and that's my manipulation, right? How long do I want it to be, right? Because we got to think about length. Okay, let's just say that it's this long. All right, this is my limit. Oh, look, but maybe I'm doing a cutout here. And I don't know, like that doesn't seem to be right. Okay, like that's a mistake now because you're like, that doesn't seem interesting, right? Interesting in terms of like the length and the variations in the line that are happening. But I'm still thinking about the perspective. This is the perspective, by the way, like right, this is the box we're thinking about, right? This is the box we're thinking about. We're constantly thinking about that. And you're like, okay, well, clearly, you know, I manipulated it here. Okay, maybe let me add another in this plane, because now this plane, this is the box for this plane, right? So you're like, let me add a cylinder jutting out. So it's like that. And then you do it, and then you connect it, and you're like, I don't know, this doesn't really look that good. But do you see what I mean? Like, you're just constantly, you just take your time. You really just take your time, and you're like, what are quote unquote interesting? I don't like the word interesting, but in this context, it's just like the length, the shape, the size, the ratios next to other things, like the type of cutout, or is it jutting out? Is it cutting in? Is it cutting out? Right? But in the beginning, because those are all the manipulations I can think of now, right? But in the beginning, it was just one, which is subtracting or adding, right? And clearly with intersections, I still struggle because I haven't practiced form blending nowhere near enough. And obviously, when I go back to the ArtWad roadmap, who knows how long, like a year or whatever, right? Because I plan to do like 6 months of portrait, then probably 6 months of roadmap, and then 6 months of portrait. Like it's gonna be back and forth, right? Because those are the foundations. But that's what I'm thinking of, right? Like if it helps. Like even here, what I'm thinking is like, would it look good? I don't know, but would it look good if I, in the right ratio, and that's already a mistake, made a cutout? Well, no, it doesn't look good because now it's too much, right? In my opinion, from like just general aestheticness that I can understand, right? Would it look good if I really accentuated the cutouts that were happening here? Yeah, that looks pretty good. It adds three-dimensionality. It really showcases that there's nuance to this shape, you know? Would it look good if I made this go through? Yeah, kind of looks like a rocket inside a shape, right? And now we have to make up for this mistake. It's like, okay, well, might as well just outline it because outlines usually make things look halfway decent. But now it's getting crowded, so I stop. I take a step back. Razor Cheese says, how many vanishing points did you use at most? I'm not really sure exactly what you mean by how many vanishing points did I use at most. Dude, why the fuck is the stream quality so ass? Jesus Christ. This is my 1080p garbage. iPhone 15 Pro Max, thumbs down, right? But even another thing, because like this is mainly we're trying to focus on design, right? So like, would it look good if I added an ellipse here, like an elliptical cutout, and I added two here, and added two here, right? Would that look good? It looks okay. What if I made a cutout inside of it, like an actual, like what if I just made it indented? That doesn't look too bad either. It seems to create visual variety, but that's what I'm thinking of right now when it comes to design. Like this is just my understanding based on all the people that I've analyzed and shit, right? So this could obviously all change in terms of my process, but I think this is clearly a decent process right now. Okay, but how many vanishing points do you use at most? Well, here's the thing, right? in the beginning, this vanishing point, thinking in the beginning for months on end, it was okay. The goal is literally to see the biggest horizon line I can. At first, it's literally this big. Then it's like this big. Then it's this big. Whatever. The point is, it continues. Now I can see the horizon line on the entire fucking page, right? I can literally see the horizon line on the entire page. But it took me 3 years of consistent effort to get to that point, right? And after that, it was like, okay, I got a vanishing point here, and I got a vanishing point there, and I gotta like, let's see. In the beginning, I can only go this back, this further back, and then as you go, you can go this further back, and this further back, and this further back. But the point you understand, right? Like in the beginning, it's limited space, limited range, limited visualization. But within that limited space and visualization, you are constantly trying to expand it, constantly trying to expand it. But to answer your question in a very fucking long-winded way, you should expect this at this point, is in the beginning, I did envision the vanishing points. I did, right? I did my best to envision all of them, right? Let's say we have a third one. It's like very far away, right? But I did my best to envision all of them, right? And now it's intuitive. Now I just think about the box. Like this is what I think about. I just think about the box because I've already internalized it's going to be parallel, right? At the end of the day, I've already internalized that no matter what, it's going to be parallel or it's going to be converging, right? Like I've already internalized that because the concept of a vanishing point has been internalized through sheer repetition, right? So I know that no matter what, it's going to be parallel or it's going to be converging, And it's like, okay, cool. I know that now, right? And I just have put enough practice to not have to think about the vanishing point. I know it's still there. My mind knows it's still there. My mind knows that if I go, that this is the vanishing point. My mind knows that that's where I'm going, right? Okay, so like clearly a lot more, a lot less converging than I had thought. But you see, like just intuitively, I know like it's there. I'm going towards it, right? Slight convergence or just parallel, like that's what I'm thinking about. But in terms of like how many vanishing points did you use at most? Well, you have to use all of them, right? But at the end of the day, once you can think about the box in any shape and form, right? And you can just right here, like I can already think about the box, right? Or like this way, my bad. Yeah, that makes more sense. The rest is GG, my friend. The rest is GG. Okay, now here's the fun part because I get to think about function. So I had wanted to do something else initially, but now you see I'm going to do something like this because this is difficult. I still struggle, as you can see, with drawing a partial ellipse. No, what I struggle with is drawing an ellipse behind another ellipse. I genuinely struggle with that a lot. And obviously centering it, right? So this is where me calculating is going to come into handy. And if this is a mistake, that means then it's a mistake, right? Simple as that. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do with this shape. And we're going to obviously create a rotation out of it. What if I add? I like the idea. Exactly. Like that's literally that's the question you should be asking yourself when it comes to, I guess, designing or manipulations. Like when it comes to actually building the skill of form manipulations, it's always, what if I do this, right? Because it's so difficult to be like, I'm going to do this. Like this is like all these manipulations. Because yeah, we can look at all the good art we want, right? But the trial and error, and that's my belief. I truly believe most artists just went through, I think it's just a fact, right? Like trial and error is how you learn. But to think about trial and error, for me, it's just been, what if I do this? Right? It doesn't matter if it works or not, because what matters is like if it works, I'm like, cool. So I can do more things like this. And if it doesn't work, you're like, okay, why doesn't that work? Is it because the line wasn't confident? Is it because I went in a weird direction? Is it because it doesn't really make sense with the manipulation? Is it because like compared to the other ratios I have for the things surrounding it, it just is boring or uninteresting, right? Like it just doesn't stimulate me personally. So the better your taste gets, the better your ability to create gets, because you're just really internalizing all the things you like. And then you're trying to output it via form and design and all that stuff, right? How do I foreshorten arms? Zoodle arts. Well, you're asking the wrong guy because I haven't practiced figure. I've only done figure for like 10 hours. But let's just say this is your arm, right? Let's just say this. Let's say this is your little hand mitten, right? Let's just say that's your little hand mitten, right? And you guys will see on my channel, I've only done this for like a few hours. But you see, even via intuition, it's whatever, it's not that bad. That's your hand mitten, that's your hand, right? So let's say, obviously, your arm is the cylinder attached behind it. It's literally just the vanishing point and then converging drastically. It's just drastic convergence, right? That's my understanding. Go to someone else, to be honest, if you want much better. But that's the way I see it. It's like that's foreshortened, and then we have the shoulder pad, right? And then we have the person themselves, and they're like, what you looking at, bro? Right? There you go. See? Foreshortened. But it's just your box is converging extremely fast. Like the vanishing point, it's converging to is extremely fast, right? And how I can explain this is like you have to think about each individual thing as an individual shape that follows its own perspective, because this follows a different perspective and this follows a different perspective, right? So it's like individual components, and this also slightly follows a different perspective, right? And so does this, slightly follows a different perspective. But the convergence of vanishing point is way back here. But for this one, because it's foreshortened, and because it's something that's like this is much closer to us and this is much further away, it's down here. This is how I know I'm already gonna be really good at figures when I go off, because like just through sheer understanding of form, I was able to do something like this, which is cool. But I hope that helped, right? I hope that helped. Obviously, always start simple is what I would recommend. Okay, so now again, like what if, like how do I convey rotation, right? How do I convey rotation? Now, for my own sake, I also want to try something like this, right? Because this is for my own sake. This is purely because I want my perspective to get better, right? And I'm trying so hard to think about everything in terms of perspective as well, right? Again, guys, I'm always trying to think about that box. Even while I'm drawing fast, even while I'm drawing slow, it's just always in the back of my mind, because it is the biggest ROI, is just thinking about that box. And it is a very difficult skill, but it's a doable skill. Think about it this way: if it wasn't doable, why can people do it? Right? Like, why can people do it if you couldn't do it? Like if it just wasn't something that could be built as a skill and only a select few would be able to do it, why can millions of people do it? Okay, yeah, millions. Why can millions of people do it to a relative degree, and then hundreds of thousands of extremely proficient artists do it to an extremely high degree? Because it's a skill, right? So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. With the foreshortening, with the boxes, like everything I've been trying to explain, right? It's purely trial and error, and just really always trying to see the grid. The grid, right? The grid is the fucking greatest ROI in terms of form, right? We're gonna talk purely about form and perspective, because my voice is cracking, but purely about form and perspective, because clearly that's all I know. Like that's all I know decently well. And I don't ever want to lie and be like, oh yes, well, I know everything else, because I don't. And when I do learn a decent amount of other things, I'll obviously do my best to teach or to inform what I have learned. Right? Again, this is just me practicing ratios. Like, is this going to make sense? That doesn't look that good. The perspective kind of went off, right? But am I over detailing? Very likely that I'm over detailing. But I'm just going to keep trying. Right? Keep trying. Maybe what if I add these little things, right? Will that make a difference? Okay, this is obviously off perspective, right? And then I guess we can just continue this onwards, right? And again, like this also has perspective that has to be followed, right? There you go. I don't know if I'm doing that right, by the way, because I'll have to double check, and it's very difficult to think about everything at once. But this does have perspective that has to be followed. So does this. That was a mistake. I already fucked that up. It's okay. That's what happens, right? It doesn't matter. All I'm doing is I'm telling myself, like, that's fine. You tried. It's all good. It's Gucci, right? In that voice specifically. If you don't do it in that voice, you're a failure. You're never gonna amount to anything. Okay, but see, I think this does tell you that like it's a rotation, because it is a hinge and it's rotating. I believe texture is one of the hardest things in drawing, but I don't know why no one talks about it. Yeah, texture is extremely difficult. I can't even comment on that because I don't understand values, right? But texture, from my understanding, is sheerly texture, from my understanding, and the way ArtWad explains it, which is why I love ArtWad, it's a combination of understanding form, right? Like the very subtle form on a particular surface, and then indicating that form with the light that is being reflected on it, like with keeping the light uh, what's it called? Yeah, the direction of light and mind, right? So that's my understanding. Conceptually, that's how I understand it. From an application sense, I don't understand it that well because I haven't put in 500 reps, 1,000 reps. But I tell you this: 5, 10 years from now, I will understand it much better, and I'll do my best to explain it to you all, right? And again, like I don't even know that many manipulations. I just know single rounding, multiple rounding, uh, subtraction, addition, and that's it basically. That's literally it. Now I want this to do something like this. Let's see. Let's do. But you see how even with these limited manipulations that I can do, it actually creates relatively decent things, right? So I like this. I like the silhouette for this quite a bit, right? Do you think if I learn a more precise level of anatomy, it will be much easier? I think if you practice your forms, it's going to be a lot easier. So if you can't do this, like if you can't do the simple version of this, right, which is this, if you're unable to do this, and you have to be honest with yourself, by the way, I would like you to hold yourself accountable, right? If you cannot do this, and then let's say, yeah, something like that, right? And let's say, if you can't do this, like the simplest version, right? Then you won't be able to do anything more complicated. If you can't do this in multiple angles, multiple perspectives, because I'll do that right now. I'll do it in another angle right now, right? Form is the great equalizer when it comes, because think about it, the 3D space your object resides in is the only thing that really matters when it comes to believability, right? Everything else that goes on top of that are obviously extremely important skills that you obviously will learn and should want to learn because art is an infinite skill and that's the beauty of it, right? But if you're unable to do the simple version, and obviously I'm not half-assing it, but like, I'm not doing the most slow, thorough job because I draw slowly and I draw thoroughly to the best of my ability, right? But if you're unable to do the simple version, then you need to do the simple version hundreds of times or enough times. Let's just say minimum 50 is like your repetitions, right? Until you're like, okay, I do understand it relatively well, right? And here, this could just be someone raising their arm, right? You see how we're already creating a story, right? That's just someone raising their arm. They're like, excuse me, please, please give me attention, right? Is that arm on the right way? Yeah, it is. Okay. But that's what you should focus on. TBH, I know how to do that, but I don't know what happens when detailing, but the arm just looks a bit off. Um, then it just comes down to your manipulated forms, right? And I'm gonna trust you when you say you know how to do that, and I'm gonna trust that you're not just saying you know how to do that because you think you're above the simple practices. I'm gonna assume that you actually do respect the simple shapes and you respect the simple forms and the importance of practicing things in a simple manner. I'm gonna assume that because you said I know how to do this, right? So then it just comes down to the next step, which is your knowledge of the manipulated versions of these shapes, right? This is why, again, I'm not fucking affiliated, but check out ArtWad. ArtWad, right? If you go, they literally have a figure road. So if you can't do what they show in the figure road first. And then it's the anatomy road, which is anatomy-informed shape manipulation, right? Like the pectoral muscle is just like a fucking manipulated box, right? But anyways, I'm gonna go back to drawing this. I've been giving you guys way too much fucking attention. Fuck off. I laugh, but it's true, seriously. Please draw along. Okay, and then maybe what if I do a cutout that goes up? And again, like in the beginning, it's hard to think about all the different angle changes you can do. But once you can do one angle change multiple times, then you're like, what if I extend that angle change from one plane, like that, to another plane that is like, oh, okay, we got an angle change now, right? Like, oh, okay, I see. And then what if I extend it like this, right? Like this is basically how I thought about it. you know. But it helps. It helps. So what I want to do is there you go, and we will add something like that. I'm just thinking like, what if I had like a 3D elliptical shape, right? Not that it has any merit. This is a little bit function, a little bit design based, but right now it's just trying to think about aesthetic, quote unquote, like what are ratios that can be nice to look at, I guess, right? And maybe they're also, yeah, maybe they're multiple around it. This doesn't look that good. I think I can agree to myself because I'm just fucking talking to myself, I guess. I can agree that that doesn't look that good. Let's just do something like that, right? The logic behind that is pretty flawed, but I don't know. But I feel like if I gave personality forms, the cylinder would be the villain and the box would be the hero. Well, I have nothing to say to that because I don't even have the imagination that you just displayed. Please keep that up. Keep your fucking imagination for the love of Christ. That was really cool. I never thought about it that way. Right. And then Zoodle Art says, "Do you have any help on hands, bro? Just go to Artwad or or go to my hand video. All right, like the hand mitten on like the hands playlist I have. I guess that shit should be relatively helpful. But I'm telling you right now, I haven't learned hands properly. Right, this what I did is just purely based on my the 10 hours max. No, not even like 2 3 hours that I put on learning hands, which is documented on my channel. You'll see exactly what I mean. Right, like I literally haven't practiced that much, and my understanding on form and perspective. Right, so over the next 2 years, I will be going off on figures and portraits and everything related to that. And you guys will see exactly what I mean by the fact that not only are they extremely difficult, but it's beautiful how much variety figures and portraits can have, right? So I don't have any help, but go to Artwad. Um, like genuinely, I'm not even a fucking affiliate. I just chill, man. I just chill with my heart's content. And let's see, this is kind of an interesting shape. I guess we could do something like this then, right? Because this definitely looks like it has a little bit of rotation, I believe. Oh, we can maybe make a handle here, right? So this is a cutout, and maybe we can make a handle. So that'd be pretty interesting. Now the question is, I've already kind of blocked off my because this is the thing, right? It's decision making. Now that I made this line, I have thought in my head like this is going to be a cutout, but because I already made this line and I was thinking of that, and I just didn't think ahead of that, I now have to think about okay, I have to draw a handle. How will it look? Right? What is the handle shape? Something like that. And then it's obviously going to be a lot bigger here. Oh wait, perspective. See, I fucked that up. It's very difficult to think about everything, right? Again, like just trying to keep that little diagonal. I fucked up the perspective again, right? That's actually completely off. So we have to adjust and account for that. And that kind of looks like it's back to normal. Silly ideas. I'm just bored. That's good. Boredom is what creates creativity. Boredom is what creates opportunities, right? There you go. And let's see. We do need the handle attached by a hinge. So maybe I don't know if that really looks like a handle because again, I'm thinking a little bit. I'm trying to figure it out as I go. Right? That doesn't really work that well. It's okay. We'll allow it. You see, but like that's what happens when you don't think, right? Okay. That's interesting. This overall I think was pretty decent exercise. And then because it feels kind of awkward, we could just ratios, right? We could just add a little rounding. This is basically a cone, right? This is a cone. And we could Fucked up the perspective already. I fucked up the perspective bare here. I don't know, maybe it's just a semi-sphere. Doesn't really work at the end of it, right? So mistakes were made. It's fine. It's cool. We'll move on to a next one, right? But I think my designing in general is getting decently better, right? And that I'm proud of. That I am proud of, right? Let me drink some water. Staying hydrated is very important. Okay, cool. We've been streaming for an hour and a bit. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. An hour and 14 minutes. You guys have any other questions, or have I harped on about the importance of form enough and understanding your lines, right? Zoodle Arts, I hope that was helpful. I mean, at the end of the day, all I really told you was to go fucking check out a platform that I personally believe to be the fucking greatest art platform of all time, right? Nothing, very simple answer, right? Okay, so my cylindrical shapes, they're okay. Could use a lot more work, but you know what? This wasn't too bad. Okay, but like I kind of lost it there. Yeah, kind of lost it here. Function wasn't really met as much as I would like, but you know what? This doesn't look too bad. If I were to add shadows, I believe it would be a little bit better. I know once I get really good at portraits and figures, I know then people are gonna actually understand what I mean by art was the GOAT. And I think people will also understand what I mean by the importance of form and thinking about the box, right? I genuinely feel as if getting fucking amazing in portrait and figures, purely not even from like my own standpoint of how good the good it'll do for me, but the good it'll do for the channel. Because I know people fucking love faces. I know people love, like from what I can see on YouTube, people love portrait drawings. People love that shit, bro. You guys love that shit. Portrait drawings, figure drawings. Clearly everybody's trying to learn it. So I hope me showcasing that it's really just about it's just about the basics. It's just about the mannequin. I hope that will finally fucking prove that like, oh, maybe I should learn my perspective. Maybe that kind of looked better. Made it look better. Interesting. Draw a laser alien gun. Oh, thanks for the idea. Okay, we'll try to create function out of that. Right, and I really appreciate it if you explain what that thing does. Okay, so the only function that I cared about, right, was I want this to rotate. I fucked it up. It was going well, and then here I tried drawing a handle, and because I wasn't thinking, the point is like, you're grabbing it like this, right, and you rotate it, and that rotates this. Because this is a pivot, this is cylindrical, we've kind of established that it's gonna follow that, right? Here, this is I wasn't thinking here, I was thinking maybe this is like some status indicator, maybe it's like some light, maybe something, right? So again, anywhere where I can't explain is surely due to a lack of thinking, right? Which is important because here I was thinking a lot, here I wasn't thinking that much, right? But what the point is, it's just something where it's like that, right? You're just rotating it, you're pivoting it like this way. That's what I was trying to do. All of them want to draw manga and anime style. Yeah, well, exactly. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. Manga and anime style, style is the decisions that are made on top of the form, on top of the fundamentals, right? So with like lighting, like hair, everything, like it's all about form at the end of the day, right? So style is purely just decisions that are being made via the artist's own interpretation and education and skills, right? And inspiration and all that shit. So, and let me just like make it very clear. Right, I was just trying to make it rotate. But yeah, everybody like I love anime manga, bro. I'm a huge fucking weeb. I've seen almost 300 anime, right? So, and I started at your age. That's at ripe old 14, right? When I was a youngin, fucking. Let's see. I generally want to base my work on portraits. This is bad? No, I never said that was bad. I literally never said I was bad, but I'm just saying that when I go off on portraits, people are going to be like, oh, how'd you do it? I'm going to be like, oh, look, it's all about form, right? The better you understand form in the different planes, that's just going to inform your skill set and your drawings, right? Everybody has different goals. Not everybody's trying to become an excellent top tier drawing from imagination, Kim Jong-il draftsman, like I'm extremely enamored by, and that's my goal, right? But what's it called? What what was I trying to say? But like at the end of the day, understanding form is gonna help you no matter what, right? The bet like yes, there are a lot of people who are really good at portraits. A lot of people like Hamrib Arts comes to mind, right? She's fucking amazing at portraits. But then she started learning the fundamentals, like all this shit, and she's like, bro, it made her art so much better because now she's not when she's studying from reference, right? She is not simply copying the shapes that she sees. She is understanding the form and the direction and the 3D space in which those shapes occupy, and that way she's again manipulating her reference. She can create a slightly different face. She can exaggerate things, and she's not being manipulated by her reference because she's not constrained to the dimensions of the reference. Right? Does that make sense? So same thing. Like the better your understanding of form, right, and then your understanding of obviously like the manipulated shapes on a portrait, on a face, you will be able to create all the portraits and faces you want from imagination. You will be able to create your lighting scenarios because you understand the 3D space in which the object, the very manipulated box with the manipulated boxes and cylinders on it, which is the face and its features, right? You'll be able to understand the lighting that is hitting that form. So it's a feedback loop. It's just going to make you better and better in terms of understanding and applicability, right? That's just what I believe, and that's what Artwad has showcased as an extremely stellar way to approach it. And I hope to either prove them wrong or prove them right. Sorry, prove them right or prove them wrong. But at the end of the day, there's no negative because I just learn and I just learn and I learn and I learn and I enjoy it and I get better. Oh, I said QTE regarding anime. Oh, okay, okay. I started to draw because I wanted to draw manga in the first place, and still I want to do that, but I got a lot of other things to draw. Right? I mean, if you think about mangaka, they draw everything, right? They draw everything. They don't just draw characters. There's literally zero manga where it's just characters. Apart from Kubo, Tite Kubo, right? The fucker with his blank backgrounds. But he's an incredible character designer. Absolutely incredible. Okay, let me draw that space thingy for you, right? Draw laser alien gun. I started with this too. Yeah, dude. Like again, my like I think I've said this. I'm gonna make the Animorphs fan manga, or this is my goal, right? So the art style I already have envisioned in my mind because when I was reading Animorphs, I was on like the sixth book, and I'm like, okay, this is it. Like that's when I decided. So when I read sixth book to the 52nd book and like the eight special books, I just trained myself to see the manga in my mind, like the manga that I was gonna make and the character styles and the character designs and everything that I was going to already draw as a skill set. I literally trained myself to visualize that in my mind when I was reading it. So I read the Animorphs book series as a manga in my mind, with like each fucking sentence being an entire like panel or something, right? So long story short, what I'm trying to say is my goal is a mix of manga stylistic choices and realism stylistic choices, right? So and I think that's like that's just what I want. That's a good goal, I think. Right. Anyways, let me draw that laser gun. What'd you say? You wanted when I was 9. Dude, what the fuck are kids doing on my channel? Zoodle Arts. I'm swearing. What are you doing? You're 13. What? I should not swear. No, I will swear. Get the fuck off my channel. You child. This is not good for you. I'm only saying that for the parents out there who don't want you watching my content. I personally don't care. But disclaimer, I do not condone children watching my channel. Although when I was 13, I was watching The Creatures. So take that as you will. But would you say? You wanted laser alien gun. I should, dude. I keep assuming everybody on my chat that I'm talking to is my age or like in their mid 20s, right? What is going on? Do the mid 20-year-olds not have the time to fucking watch streams? Clearly, because they're at work, or they're busy, right? Okay, laser alien gun. Let's draw it from the bottom. Okay, what is the function of this laser alien gun? Okay, so see, I've never drawn laser guns, so this is gonna be interesting. Let's start here. Well, let's draw the base, right? The base shouldn't be that bad. What silhouette do I want? I guess I want a more organic silhouette, right? So something like this. And we can even do maybe something like, don't you guys love it when your pen is just absolutely fucking ass, even though it's supposed to be a new pen, right? So this is the bottom. So obviously it has maybe a couple screws, right? Let's see. That hurts. Dude, my parents don't care. I turned 18 like a month ago. Proud of you. Okay. You have my respect for aging. He says, dude, my parents don't care. Well, young man, when I file a complaint, they will care. All right? Be on the lookout for a very angry 28-year-old. Hashtag neighborhood watch. Okay, I already fucked this up, but we can change this with rounding. So, what is the function of this gun? Right? And this is the bottom, obviously. Let's see. What the fuck? Yeah, what is the function of this gun? Okay, let's try to think. Right, I draw with 0.10 pencil and notebook paper. Nice. I'm trying to make the most out of my teens, and I made a YouTube channel and trying to start animation. Good on you. Again, I always encourage everybody to try and do their best. That is all that we can control. Okay, so this gun is not going to be very gun-like, I don't believe, but I'm going to do my best. Right? Like, it's already so thick. I didn't mean to make it that thick, but this is where we can play with silhouette. Right? Does it have to be that thick? No. We can do something like this. Right? So we can do something like that. And let's see. Okay, and hmm. I'm not thinking that much. I'll tell you guys right now. I'm really not thinking that much. I'm just trying to ideate on like a nice silhouette, right? Something like that. And let's see. Okay, but I am thinking now. I'm really trying to think about the perspective. Really trying to think about the perspective. Let's see. Laser gun, right? So laser gun, would it really have a trigger, right? The function is laser and make it so it doesn't look like a gun. How do you read deleted comments? Oh, I just read it before you deleted it. I'm very fast. Right. Hell yeah. The function is laser. Make it so it doesn't look like a gun. How the fuck am I supposed to make it look so it doesn't... Dude, you're changing everything. This is literally supposed to be a gun. God damn it. I'm being ordered around by by my audience. This 13-year-old has more power than I do in my life, evidently. It's crazy to me, bro. I'm fucking 15 years older than you. I remember when I was 13, like it was 15 years ago. I started my words. We ignore that part, okay? We ignore that part. Um, so make it so it doesn't look like a gun. These were unconfident lines. You can tell because I went over them a bunch. Just a heads up. Make it doesn't look like a gun. No, fuck you, bro. I'm gonna make it whatever the hell I want. I'm already struggling here. There you go. Right, and then let's see something like this. Okay, right. So make it so it doesn't look like a gun. Well, laser shit usually has some sort of like plasma chamber or something, right? So how about this is the button that's pressed when you want to shoot it? Because again, we're looking at it from the bottom, right? That's a mistake. That's a fucking huge mistake. Jesus Christ. Here, we'll even put like a smiley face so people know that like they're about to die. Hello, laser coming at your butthole. Okay, right. There you go. And then like an alien gun, you know? No, I don't know. I haven't seen enough. I haven't analyzed enough alien shapes to be like, oh yes, of course, the alien gun. Who the fuck do you think I am? And now that you said your parents don't care, I also do not feel bad about swearing. So there you go. More, my consciousness has been wiped. I am a god. Consciousness has been wiped. What the fuck? Conscience has been cleared. I'm fucking. I cannot draw while talking. I can't do it, but I'll try my best. This is like aesthetic choices I'm trying to make, I guess. Does it really work? Maybe. Okay. right? And then we will have like okay, again, guns, alien guns are just shit in general. Usually we'll have some sort of it's all organic, right? So I can just do something like this. Yeah, I can just do something like this, right? And if we think as clearly as possible, perhaps it creates something interesting. In my mind, I was thinking something like the atomizer from GTA. A spiral type thing would be cool. Yeah, I was. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I was thinking of like spiral type shit. So you know what? Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe the spiral stuff will be here, right? But let's just add little thingies here. Right. Yeah, I haven't played GTA in years, bro. I know kids are fucking in love with that shit, but I've not played it in a very long time. Okay, let's add the spirals. And again, I'm trying to think about the perspective. This is super difficult, guys. I'm struggling right now. I think perspective is completely off. Um, but it depends on how I handle it. Right? It genuinely, no pun intended. On anyway, anyways, it really does depend on how I handle it. Because right now, if I do this, then yeah, perspective is pretty off, but I'm just trying to spatially reason right now. Give you a heads up. I know I fucked up the perspective. I'm very well aware that I fucked up the perspective, but this is the part like where I have to try to think about how I'm gonna problem solve it, right? Because if I do extend it down here, like either way, this angle is wrong because guns in general are supposed to be like this, okay? Like that's what it's supposed to be like. This, in terms of like if I were to just hold it normally, it's like this, right? That's what it's like. So that is already the more ridiculous, the better. Sure. Name. Thank you. I like. Thank you for the permission. Can you name your top three anime? What if aliens don't have perspective? If aliens don't have perspective, I don't know how the fuck they're living in this earth. Or they're clearly not living in this earth. I take back everything I said. I'm retarded. But top three anime: One Piece, Gintama, and Attack on Titan. Right. One Piece is what got me into anime at the age of 14 back in 2011. Gintama, fucking just top tier. I loved it. Made me laugh my ass off. Right. And just really, really, really good show. And I haven't finished it. So I would really hope nobody spoils, please. Right? I haven't finished it. I stopped before the semifinal and the final, right? And let's see. Yeah, I think this is gonna have to be the way that it's done, because at least that way it's even, right? Okay, now we're gonna add spiral things, I guess. So I don't really know what kind of spiral shit I should add, but maybe something like. But again, I've seen a fuck ton of anime. Anybody seen Running with the Wind? That's also amazing slice of life, right? I loved Running with the Wind. What else? Mob Psycho 100. I like the manga quite a bit better, but the anime was still amazing. So that I'm fuck off. I'm trying to think. I can't fucking answer this. I've seen too many. Type in Viggy Vodka My Annie list. You'll see everything. There you go. There's your answer. Right? You'll literally can you guys can fucking stop stalk my anime choices. There you go. And little there you go. What do you think? There's your little. That's not bad. It's not bad. Perspective is pretty off, but in terms of a silhouette, that's actually a pretty interesting silhouette. So, and we have the shooting button too. So that's fine. That's fine by me. Right. I agree. Gintama super based. Nice, good taste. Have you seen Vinland Saga? Of course. I watched the first season. back during COVID. I rewatched it again last year, and then I watched the second season. I can't watch that type of show. I can't rewatch that type of show or watch it enough because like the drama in terms of just the sheer fucking like anxiousness you feel in some scenes, right? Like how much I ended up caring for the characters. It's hard. Like I'm really at a point in my life where I just like to watch light-hearted shit because I've seen some shit, man. No, but I've seen a lot of like darker shows, and I just like especially after AOT, and fucking AOT was amazing, right? I read the manga me and my friend started reading the manga literally after the fucking episode 8 of the anime dropped of season 1. Okay, I'm done with that, but it doesn't really have much function. But I think it's actually a pretty cool silhouette, and that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Have you watched Bakuman or Bakugan? Because I had not watched Bakuman as a child, but I have seen Bakugan, right? Which is literally an anime about making manga, which is interesting. Yes, you won't watch this often. Yeah, I never saw Bakuman as a child, right? Finally, something understandable. Thank you. Fuck you, but thank you. No, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Right. I struggle with readable shapes and readable silhouette, which is the whole point of these streams right now. I'm probably gonna focus a lot of my streams on this for the time being. And oh yeah, by the way, don't expect me to be as consistent as I am now. Right. Next week or the week after, once I start doing portraits, it'll be back to because that'll be my drawing practice. Right now, this is my drawing practice. It'll be back to it'll be back to doing like once a week streams. Let's see. Have you read The Climber? No, but I've heard it's amazing. And the art looks fucking phenomenal. I would again like that's the level of fidelity that definitely like I'm gonna take inspiration from. Obviously, I'm gonna read it first though, right? Yeah, it's just type in Vicky Vodka Annie list or my Annie list. You'll see all the shit I've watched and read, right? But it's yeah, keep asking me questions. That's really nice. Okay, just because QTE completely fucking called me out and was like finally something understandable, we're gonna try creating something else that's also understandable, right? We're gonna try creating more things that are understandable. So let's try here, and hmm, okay, I got an idea. I want to try like a. I don't want to keep doing the same perspective. Because this is the bottom. I feel as if all I've been doing is the same perspective. Like it's just been variations of this. So, dude, I'm at a point with perspective now that everything just feels like it doesn't. It all feels like it's the same because I can simply think about every plane. It's hard to explain. Like I can literally just yeah, I can just think about everything and I'm a god. I'm it's I don't know how to say this. Right? I've gotten to a point with perspective that every angle just looks the same to me, even when they're all different. Right? Let's see. I like the JJK art style. Yes, it's nice. Damn, like two guys who decided to draw manga together. Yeah, yeah, that's Bakugan. I think you're very good at forms and perspective. Why not move on to figures and faces? I think it's called Bakuman or something. Bro, what the fuck? Were you there when I just said that like 3 minutes ago? Bakugan. You asked me if I've watched Bakuman, and I said no, I haven't watched Bakuman. I've watched Bakugan. Nobody listens to me, man. But I appreciate that you think I'm very good at forms and perspective, right? That nobody's been fucking listening. I literally said once my backlog is done, I'm taking a break, right, from my actual main practice. I'll be literally just be doing the Artwad portrait roadmap for half a year, and then I'll probably go back to some fundamentals practice, and then I'll be doing the Artwad figure roadmap for half a year, right? Like that's literally like the whole conversation I had with Tyrion, i.e., broken draw, was just yo move on. Like let's start drawing people and getting good at that, so you can create scenarios and stories, and people will inform everything you make. Nobody listens. Nobody listens to me. Fuck you all. Thank you for the watch, or the retention and the views, and then the chat and the engagement. Yeah, you fucking pieces of shits. But Alien Spaceship. If we talk about style, I love Chainsaw Man. Fujimoto is a genius. He's very dynamic. Like if you think about his actual technical proficiency, right? It's like it's normal. I'd say he's like he's intermediate. But his understanding of gesture, dynamism, and just like very expressive lines and like his panel compositioning is fucking top tier, right? Like he's so good at expression. You know, his lines are come to life. You know, they dance, right? That type of shit. So. Viggy is crashing out again. You're 10 seconds delayed, or I'm 10 seconds delayed. What the fuck? But yes, I did have a moment. Okay, you said spaceship? Okay. I want to fit something here. How do you draw a spaceship? Well, why don't we start with, okay. So okay, I am doing a different angle. This is completely different. So that's good. At least I'm challenging myself. Let's see. I guess this is gonna be like a small spaceship, right? I haven't really analyzed many alien spaceships, but let's try. Let's try, right? Okay, so by the way, this is my box, right? That's what I see, by the way. This is literally what I see. This is what I want you guys to know. Like that's what I have trained myself to see that. Every single good concept artist, and I'm not saying I'm one of them, by the way. Like I have a lot, hundreds of hours and many things to learn. So, but this is like just what you train yourself to be able to see. Right now, again, I want to reiterate, right now you probably see this. Fuck, that's too good. Right now you probably see this. Yeah, there you go. You probably see that. And like this is like what the fuck, and you're like, dude, I can't fucking think, like what the fuck, and blah blah blah. But you, because you're seeing that and you're recognizing that that's not it. Error, associate good feelings with that, fucking keep going. That's it, right? But anyways, okay, let's see what a good spaceship design is. Well, we do need to have a trash chute of sorts, and we also need engines, right? So, what's a good engine? See, this is actually really good because I have to keep the shapes super simple. Simple? I cannot speak. I have to keep the shapes super simple because clearly, like clearly this is a big shape that I have to essentially simplify because it's like a zoomed out view, right? So that's actually a really good challenge for me. And then again, we have to think about the center line. Try to keep things again, I've never designed a spaceship, so this is a great challenge. I appreciate it. Oof. Okay, so I'm doing a lot of thinking right now, and I think I've already fucked some things up, but it's okay because we just got to keep trying. Because like, look, there's like this angle, right? And then in that angle, I'm gonna try another angle, which is probably should have made that a bit more. Oof. See, this has hurt my brain a lot. This is what I want you guys to know. This is literally fucking killing my brain, and that's a good thing. Like this is killing my fucking brain. So this is what I mean. Like I'm building the skill of being able to talk and draw at the same time, right? And to see angles and to, oh, that's so fucking hard. It's amazing. Yeah, to see angles and to keep it consistent. I think that's a mistake. Oh, that's definitely a mistake, right? But it's okay. We've made the mistake. We just keep moving on. You should try to make an outside design for the Among Us spaceship. I'm not even answering that. Fuck your Among Us bullshit. I don't know what the fuck that looks like. Leave me alone. Okay. And like, I guess these are little engines, if you could call them that. Something like this. I know this doesn't really look like a spaceship. This is just me ideating, right? It's okay. It doesn't look like a spaceship. I'm just trying to think out loud, right? Not that I understand. Let's see. Right, maybe that's a. And this is like the organic spaceships. This is just my knowledge, by the way. This is just my knowledge into what kind of like an organic spaceship. See, I'm kind of reinforcing the box here, right? Would look like. And the perspective is off because this is super difficult. This is a great exercise because I have to think about something that's actually very detailed and difficult, but I have to put it into like a very simplistic form, right? I have to put it into a very simplistic detailing while also still thinking about design, perspective, right? Super hard. Does this even make sense? I don't think it does. Like this right here. I definitely don't think it does. But we can maybe, and again, I'm trying to reinforce that perspective over and over and over and over, right? I'll answer your question, QTE. Give me a second. Let me just, then maybe this can be another engine, I guess. And then we'll obviously put an angle on it. Okay, I didn't put the angle that I wanted, but okay, we can actually do something like this instead. It doesn't really look that good. It really doesn't make sense either. So we're just gonna leave it. We're just gonna leave it. Okay. And I'm not giving up, but I do believe that at this point, there really hasn't been much that was done. But I think it has an interesting silhouette. So there's definitely things to take away from this. It's all cope. I am giving up. I wanna try again. But okay, let me answer your question, I guess. That was good. That was a good mistake. That was a really good mistake. Why do all of the perspective videos on YouTube only talk about 1, 2, 3 point perspective? I believe there's much more stuff than 1, 2, 3 points. I have a very simple answer for you. It's because once you get really good at 1, 2, and 3, seeing 4 or 5 is just nothing. Like it's like a very small leap from going. Okay, like once you really internalize 1, 2, and 3, right? Being able to do 4 and 5 is just like, oh, there's just 2 more points of convergence. But 1, 2, and 3, especially like once you really get like everything, but obviously 3 encompasses 1 and 2 down. Um, that is what's going to allow you to. So let me give you an example, right? Like that's what's going to allow you to just put the cognitive energy towards the fourth and fifth point, but it's not that hard, right? So literally, in 3 point, right? This is it. You have one vanishing point there. Let's just say one there and one there, right? You get really good at that. 4 point is just this, okay? You're just That's it. Like you're just adding another point for things to converge at. Know what I mean? So it's not that big of a leap, right? Like whatever. Let's just say it's farther away, but I think you understand my point. And then 5 point is just there's just a point in the middle, right? So that is actually maybe a bit more difficult, right? Because 5 point perspective, you actually have to think about the fact that like everything's converging to the point in the middle, while also like things are just also going that way, and it's also that I think is a bit more difficult. But going from 3 to 4 is not that difficult. I don't think I understand 5 point that well, so I'm not going to speak on 5 point. But going from 3 to 4, the logic I'll use is like going to 3 to 4 is just adding another point, and because you've already done so much work doing 1, 2, and 3, adding another point at the top is not that difficult, right? And then once you do a lot of what like 4 points, then adding another point in the middle should just be like another not a small cognitive leap, same amount of same cognitive leap, same difficulty, but it's like, oh, it's just another point to add. That's just my understanding and explanation, right? I still think it's very valuable to try to break it down, but I haven't done 5 point properly yet. I've done 4 point a little bit here and there, but 5 point I haven't done that much. But that's just what I feel is like 3 to 4 is a pretty simple leap, one more point. 4 to 5, once you get really really good at 4, will probably just be another leap. It's like, okay, well, still difficult, still a lot to think about, but now it's just one more thing to keep in my mind. I don't give a fuck about 4 and 5. What the fuck? I thought that was your question. You're like, I believe there's much more stuff than that. Uh, something I think would help you draw character and at the same time develop your mechanic is which is transformers thingies, robots. Don't worry, that's all part of the plan. Like, don't you worry about it, right? Yes, like that's why I'll be in my portrait stuff. I'm drawing helmets over the mannequin that I'm internalizing in my mind, right? So yeah, like it's all gonna come through, right? When I get to figures a couple years from now, or like yeah, like a year from now, right? I'll be drawing the figure and then I'll draw a mechanized version of it. Like it's everything I have thought out relatively decently, right? But it doesn't hurt to just practice these individually as well, right? I can never practice everything perfectly, but yeah, I appreciate it. Like actually, yeah, we're on the same page in that sense. QTE, maybe you okay. So you're asking like, why do all the perspective videos? You believe there's more to perspective is basically what you're saying, right? As far as I know, the only thing beyond that when it comes to perspective is obviously like environment perspective. Maybe that's what you're asking. And again, that's not something I can speak on, but yeah, that's important too. Like being able to understand that something is in front, it's larger, something is behind, it's smaller, right? Something that's really big, but behind is like more flat and two-dimensional, right? That's something I clearly struggle with, so I'm just working on that too, right? And once I really understand space well, I'll obviously years from now I'll put out a video trying to explain that to the best of my ability, right? So yeah, I'm gonna take a little break, like 10 seconds. I'll probably draw one more shape, right? And then we'll leave it at that, and then I'll be back tomorrow. This is pretty good progress. I did one, two, three complicated shapes. Obviously I fucking kept talking, so in my actual practice I probably would have done more. Ugh. But yeah, not bad. Okay. What's the next thing I want to do? Because we got to go back to function, right? Um, I want to keep trying rotation. I appreciate it, man. You. Is that a cutoff sentence? I appreciate that you appreciate me, man. Thank you. Yeah, no worries. I mean, I'm always just. It's not that like I'm someone who naturally is like I'm a teacher, I'm gonna help and all that shit. But if you have questions, I'll do my best to try to explain it. Teaching is a skill. If I teach it to you, that means I have to understand it. Which is like the thing is, I realized that I actually do understand foreshortening decently, clearly, right? Um, this is from imagination. Yes, Nikolay Drobshevsky. No, I'm not gonna fuck your name up. Nikolay Drobishevsky. 1311. Nikolay Drobishevsky. I'm South Indian. If I can pronounce my last name, I can pronounce your name. I'm not gonna butcher it. Don't worry. But yeah, this is all from imagination. Um, purely through drilling more and more complex forms. But okay, I want to draw something from the bottom because that's difficult. What functions do I want? Okay, what silhouette do I want? We gotta start asking questions, and we gotta also keep grounding ourselves. Be like, are we in extreme discomfort, right? And the answer is always, I could be in more discomfort. So, oh Jesus Christ, oh my God. That one was pretty nice, actually. This is why women don't watch my channel. The burping is too much. But let's see. Okay, yeah, it's been 111 minutes. I'll do a last shape. Jesus Christ. Okay, that water really, really hit good. Okay, so we gotta ask the right questions, right? And at the beginner level, when you're at like this, the right question is just, what do I need to visualize? The answer is always the convergences, the parallel lines, and the vanishing points, right? And then the question is like, how do I need to apply it? I need to visualize while applying it, right? That's my belief when it comes to specifically form and perspective. Like that's the beginner level. Kim Jong-gi maxing, doing my best. Give me 30 years, doing my best, right? Whatever my version of that is. But let's see, okay? Let's see. We want a bottom perspective, right? Hit it from the bottom, as they say. Does that make sense? Let's hit it from the back. Anyways, what the fuck? That was a horrible joke. Do it again. Hit it from the bottom. Okay, I want a bottom perspective. What type of silhouette do I want, and what type of function or functions do I want? I do want to do rotation. We need to start thinking about unique pivots that we can do, and I do want to do hinges. So, okay. So this is the perspective I'm going to establish right now, right? Thank you. My $20 English course always disappoints me. Well, I'm sure there's much more disappointing in your life than just one course, but there's that. Keep that positivity up there, right? That mindset, right? Anyways, let's see. Okay, so I'm thinking. What am I thinking about right now? I'm thinking about the box. I'm thinking about a general cylindrical shape. I'm trying to think about a function that could connect right here, and I'm trying to think about a hinge that could possibly, basically like a bell, right? So, yeah, I want a rotation and I want a hinge, right? So the rotation has to be here because the hinge, this is going to be the hinge contraption, right? So, and we're going to have a very subtle bottom perspective because this is difficult to think about, right? Vanishing point, vanishing point, vanishing point, vanishing point, vanishing point, vanishing point, right? So, let's see. Okay? It's going to take long. Everybody, we have to exert excess effort and patience. And what is patience? We're just doing something, right? While the time is passing. That is patience, occupying ourselves with things to do. So you see, I keep doing this. This is ghosting. I'm reaffirming and I'm ghosting specifically because this is a perspective that I do not do often, right? I do not practice. I do not practice this often, right? So that's why ghosting helps because this is really expanding my ability to visualize, right? And now it's much stronger. And again, I'm putting in a lot of effort. I'm putting in a lot of effort. So and the thing is, like, while I'm doing this, I really also have to think about the shape I want and the function that it comes into. So let's go a bit lower, right? Let's go a bit lower, and let's just start with an ellipse, because we always Or at least I always like to start with an ellipse and then think, okay, what can I do from here? Now, I do want to function. At the end of the day, right? I do want to function. Did I already fuck up the perspective? We can still fix it, right? It's all fixable. These are all mistakes. I already made mistakes. Very slight, very nuanced, off by a couple millimeters. But that's the point. You want to be able to see that couple millimeters so you can make a decision next time, right? Okay. Right? Something like that. Again, I'm seeing this, by the way. I'm seeing this to the best of my ability, right? And Kim Jong-il was right. The visualization is really only about 40 to 60% max. You know, it really is just about 40 to 60% max. At least for us average folk. Okay. See, I lost the visualization. So like I can make a huge horrible mistake right now, but we're gonna try to reorient ourselves, right? Okay. So this isn't bad, right? And I'm gonna leave that open and we're gonna close this off. But not until we do something like this, because this is where the hinge is gonna be, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot to think about, right? I'm thinking about the box. I'm thinking about the simple shapes inside the box. I'm thinking about the manipulations that could be happening within that simple shape inside the box. Also, while keeping line quality, design, right? The length, the ratios relative to other lines, right? The function, right? The silhouette. So that's like what, six, seven things. Again, I'm literally just trying to consistently juggle them as much as I can in my mind. But the precedent of all of that is visualizing the box and the space that this whatever this is occupies. And again, like I don't just want to draw a hinge. I want to draw something a bit more unique, right? Because I've been drawing the same types of hinges, and obviously I want to create complexity. Okay, hold up. I may have put the hinge in the wrong spot, but I still want the rotation to occur here, right? I still want the rotation, i.e. the pivot to occur here, right? This is what I mean. Like, I'm not looking at the chat. I'm thinking really hard, okay? I'm genuinely thinking extremely hard right now, okay? So this may have to change. What I've done here may have to change. If that is the rotation, then I did want this to rotate, but perhaps I've already fucked it up. So I'm doing a lot of thinking right now. Again, that's why I encourage everybody to draw along, because this is the real process. This is not an entertaining process when you're a beginner and when you're starting, when you're intermediate, whatever, right? Until I'm quote unquote Kim Jong-il level, I'm not just gonna be able to think about the function, the design, the silhouette, the lines, the gesture, the forms, the manipulated shapes all at once while I'm drawing it, right? It's just not happening. You know, it takes time, it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of thinking. And again, the question, am I in extreme discomfort? I'm in pretty fucking big discomfort. This is where the learning happens, by the way. All these mistakes I'm making and everything I'm doing, this is where the learning happens, right? And it's very, very, very slow. At least it is for me because I'm extremely average, right? I have to set a precedent with that. These lines are like I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking, okay, what the fuck could be done? Let's see. Okay, because I do want a rotation here. Do I want a connection to the rotation? This could be a mistake, but we will accept that. Okay? This could be a mistake, but we'll accept it because I'm curious as to what I could do, right? There you go. And again, this fucking pen is pissing me off, but it's what it is. Okay. Okay, that was a mistake too, but we can fix that by just bringing that down a little bit. And again, this is really hurting my brain. This is what I mean. Like, this is really, really hurting my brain. I'm thinking about a lot of different things at once, right? And the outcome could be completely subpar. We have to keep that in mind. The outcome could be completely subpar, right? And that's not the point. The point isn't the outcome, right? The point is simply the output, which is the effort, I'm putting in. The input is the effort, the output is the result of that effort. But the outcome, which is the result of all the inputs and outputs, is at least that's my fucking really shitty explanation of how those all relate. Does not matter. It just does not matter. Okay, so we can do something like this. Something like that. Maybe that shows rotation, maybe it doesn't, but something like that, right? Hmm. Let's see. Okay. Uh, okay. See, I'm completely, I'm like, my mind is overwhelmed with all the things I have to think about, but I'm just pushing through. I'm just pushing through and trying to think, like, how could this rotate? Where could this function, this hinge function, right? Maybe actually something like this would be very good. Let's see. What's a unique shape that I could give to this? Right. Okay. So that kind of helps, and now I'm really gonna make this big, right? Because this is converging drastically. We started off with something like this, and now it's really converging. So that's something I'm keeping in mind. This is where the learning happens, everybody. This right here, this extreme discomfort and focus and effort I'm putting in, this is where the learning happens, right? And this is all you should ever give a shit about, ever. And I think I made a mistake just now, but we'll figure it out. Right, that's off perspective. Let's fix that a little bit. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, okay. Something like that. So I already think I already fucked up the function, but the point is I'm trying, right? The point is I'm trying, and I'm noodling, so I shouldn't do that, right? But the point is I'm trying to make sense of all of this. Okay? And I like the silhouette. I do like the silhouette, right? So again, and that perspective is off. That's okay. Yeah, that perspective is off. So we have to make sense of it all because it literally is off. It looks wonky. See, my perspective was completely off there. It happens. It happens, and it will continue to happen every now and then. And I already fucked up the other perspective as well, but it's okay. We just have to not give up. Right now, the main thing I can do is not give up because it's a mistake. Everything's already gonna look wrong. These are all mistakes. It's gonna look wrong. I've accepted it. I made a mistake, and I'm just forcing myself to feel good while I make this mistake. Okay? Because this is how we learn. This is literally how we learn. Okay. So I made a lot of mistakes here. The hinge and everything is not working. And like yeah, like nothing is really working. But I am working, right? I'm putting the work in. That's all that matters. And here we can just make this maybe like a little dial, right? And now my mind is incapable of holding everything that I've had to work on for the past who knows hour, right? I haven't been able to, I can't hold it all anymore. It's really, 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 really struggling. This is actually off perspective too. Look at that. Huge mistake. Off perspective completely, right? I can try to fix it. Trying being the operative word, right? Trying, but It's kind of too late. And we're just gonna have to accept that, hey, it doesn't look that good. But this is where the progress happens, guys. Not when I was doing any of that. That was all good progress. But like here, when I'm really, really, really thinking and I've failed miserably in an objective sense, not in a mean way, but just objectively as a complete failure, right? And it's not readable, nothing makes sense. This is where my progress is happening. This is exactly where I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do a lot better next time. But we'll leave that for now. I hope that was informative. But yeah, that was great. That's the last thing I'm designing for today. So let's see. Right? Let's see what everybody says. Automated scissor. I don't know how to spell scissor. You clearly don't. SCISSO. Wait, do I know how to spell scissor? Fuck. SCISSOR. Yeah. Fuck. You fucking goddamn made me doubt myself. Manipulation first or intersections first? Manipulations, and then intersections. Well, if you want to go about the hard way, intersections first, then manipulations, because that's what I did, right? Because that's really gonna fucking grind your brain. But if you want a more sequential path, again, ArtWAD, right? They do manipulations and then intersections. Like the intersections is literally like their second last or last section. So yeah, I love extreme difficulty, as you can see. I love extreme difficulty, but that doesn't mean that it always has to be that way, and you can still just be in a lot of difficulty, right? But how do you even begin to start thinking about the box in perspective or visualizing it? Is it even possible to explain such a thing? If you're still here, I'll try. ArtWad plug, yeah. Hey, kind gesture, you motherfucker. This beautiful individual is a part of the ArtWad community, and yeah, they like my content. That's all. It's all always related back to me. No, yeah. What's up? What's up? Kind gesture. Right, Logan, I believe. I'm trying to think about the box, but eventually my brain just can't think of anything more. That is exactly it. You are on the right path. Okay, if you're still here, you're trying, right? You're trying to think about the box, right? You're trying to think about this, right? Fucking like this. You're trying to visualize this. You're trying to visualize this, right? You're trying, right? But when you make the mark, you're doing this. I'm assuming, right? You're like, ah, fuck, I can't do it. First things first, it's not, ah, fuck, I can't do it. It's like, holy shit, okay, amazing, made a mistake. The better you feel about making mistakes, the faster your brain's gonna recognize and expedite the process of learning from those mistakes because you're putting attention and dopamine towards it, right? Second thing, that's it. You're saying, how do you go about the process of trying to visualize? Exactly. You're just going about the process of trying to visualize. That literally is. That's the only explanation I can give is you're just trying to see in however you visualize, by the way, because again, initially I saw in my mind, right? I saw this halfway in my mind and halfway on the page. I've trained myself now to see it primarily on the page while I calculate in my mind, right? I've trained myself. It's a skill. I've trained myself. So like, but for like 6 months, my visual, like after the 2 year mark, for 6 months when I was like, damn, I really want to see shit on the page. I think that's much more helpful. It was super difficult. I could not see, I could not see it. I could not see this shit. I could not, until, 50, 100, 150, 200 hours of effort later, I could do it a lot better, right? So how do you even begin to start visualizing? Well, you start with just thinking about the lines that make up the box and the planes. Once that becomes intuitive after 100 hours and 800 repetitions or 1,000, 5,000 repetitions, right? It's all like, it's not as if like you only do that. You keep trying to push yourself and visualize, right? But if the biggest roadblock is just visualizing a decent box and then applying that visualization with your line while holding it, very difficult skilled with that decent box, that's like your first roadblock. So you're like, okay, once you can visualize a decent box that is pretty fucking accurate and you can act on it and make it pretty fucking accurate in multiple angles, put together with other boxes, right? Also very difficult, completely new skill now, right? With cylinders there as well, right? Then you're like, okay, manipulations, and it just all adds on top of each other, but it starts in the beginning. So that's how you do it. Like the fact that you're saying, I'm trying, but my brain hurts, that is where you want to be. You're trying, but your brain hurts. My brain was fucking dying here, by the way. My brain was really, really trying because I'm thinking about the box from the bottom angle and I'm thinking about a function for a design and I'm trying to make sure that things make sense. This is ass, right? But I was really trying. I was trying to think that, okay, like I need a fucking pivot and I need a hinge. How can the shapes look interesting? If you think about it, compared to everything else I made, this is the worst design shape. But this is actually where the most effort happened because I was genuinely trying to problem solve every bit of the logic. The bigger box, the smaller shapes inside it, right? The basic shapes, cylinder, box, right? And then, okay, how can I manipulate it? What's good design? What's good silhouette? That is it. I'm just trying my fucking hardest to think about all those things. Yeah, when you're, okay, let's see. Aryan Sarvashrestha. That sounds Tamil or South Indian. Nice skills, thank you. Green, you're still streaming. Yes, I am. right? I hope that helps. Paul Coast. I'm trying to think about the box, but eventually, yeah, my brain hurts. Yeah, that's exactly where you want to be. QTE is right. When your mind hurts, that means you're getting outside of your comfort zone. The more you put in effort to be in discomfort, the better you get at putting in effort to be in discomfort, and the more the discomfort becomes the effort, right? Like the more the discomfort is the natural state. My drawings where I am not in it are in, but the only time I've ever negatively judged myself is when I'm not in discomfort after a drawing session. When I end that drawing session, be like, damn, I was not even in that much discomfort, right? When I say 6 out of 10, like in terms of effort over the past couple of days, today was like a solid like 7.5. That means like 70% of the time I was in discomfort, right? Like genuine discomfort, right? And that's where I'm growing. So yeah, it's always about diet. It's always about diet. But I'm ending it now. It's 10:03. It's been exactly 2 hours since I started streaming. So I'm ending it there. Tomorrow we'll continue on with this bastardized page. I'll draw some more shapes here. I know that nothing about my fucking my drawing sessions are aesthetic, especially when streaming, because I'm also trying to explain to you guys, right? But we have a beautiful blank page tomorrow as well to draw from. But oh, let me create the thumbnail for this stream. Hold up, I have to wait for the lag to catch up so I can see what the placement is, and then I'll create the thing, right? But any other questions? Did that help? Right? Did that help? Pull costs 5348. Pull costs? Right? Yeah. I hope that. Oh, okay, cool. It is in the right place. Here, this is what we're gonna do. It'll be like this. No wait, like this. Fuck. I can't even draw like that. What the fuck? Okay, we'll do something like that. There you go. That's my streaming thumbnail. Ta-da! I'll hold it for a little bit so it's easier for me to find. Okay, there you go. But to anybody still listening or watching, did that make sense? Did that help? Right? I'm okay with saying the same thing over and over, right? Because it reinforces to me, and I hope you guys saw just when I'm thinking and I'm in extreme discomfort, I make much worse designs, lines, compositions, everything. But this is like genuine thought and thinking about function and rationale and silhouette and design, like genuine thought. Here, it's kind of like a mix, right? Intuition plus genuine thought. And this is nice, right? Like they still create something, but when it comes to purely thinking about function, that is so difficult because now you have to problem solve the logic of where everything is attached. You have to problem solve the logic of how things actually work, right? And that's where I want to be. I'm not saying none of these were helpful. These are all pretty decent, right? But this is where I was genuinely making the most progress right here. This one right here. But thank you for anything. Oh, I appreciate it. The part about seeing on the page was actually very enlightening. Oh, okay, cool, cool. I'm glad that helped. Again, guys, like everybody, one thing I've come to internalize, like everybody visualizes differently, but we can still train ourselves to visualize, right? I truly believe aphantasia only affects a small portion of the population, as it has been statistically proven, right? The vast majority of us who think we can visualize, we simply haven't put in the excess amount of cognitive effort over the hundreds of hours and the long time horizon that it requires to get even halfway decent or proficient at the very difficult skill of visualization. But I hope you can see that after 3 years and 3 weeks of effort, consistent, cognitively demanding effort, where I'm always in my where I'm always just trying to kill my fucking mind, right? Like just really, really trying to push my brain to the brink of its ability, that it is literally a skill that can be built. Doesn't matter who you are, right? If you watch that video in my channel, right? This is a video for beginner artists. You are not alone. I keep showing it because I get views on that. It is my best video thus far, like for the populace or for the public. I hope I've proven that I was literally never meant talented to spatially reason, but I just through sheer effort and work as a below average or average person and just focusing on things and of my own interests and looking at what do all the excellent draftsmen do, what do all the people that I admire, like top tier draftsmen, like what are the things they do, how maybe like how do I understand how they think about it, right? It always came back down to visualization, clean lines, and just really pushing the brink of your ability to manipulate shapes. And again, artwad, like I got fucking just plug it a million times, bro. Artwad. If you're wondering where I'm getting any of this from, artwad, like the mindset, the rationale, and the approach, and the sequential pattern in which I'm going about it. Artwad doesn't teach this, but I took their teachings, and I'm like, okay, you get better by not only, again, like they say 10 repetitions, I do 100 minimum. They say one angle change, I do 5 to 10 angle changes every single fucking plane, right? We push ourselves. We do 10 times more than what is required in any skill, right? Any skill. It's all skills. Ah, fuck me. It's all skills, okay? And I know a lot of you are young, so I really want you to internalize this because up until the age of 25, I was a complete fucking loser / waste man, right? I don't think it's ever too late. Again, I'm 28, but like, yeah, if you're 35, if you're 40, you're watching this, it's never too late to put in the effort to get good. It's never too late, okay? Even when you're 95, That means you can, okay, let's say you have 6 months to live. That's still a life where you're like, I can just spend 6 months putting in a fuck ton of effort, right? That's the mindset I like to instill in myself and hopefully to all of you, right? Long time horizon, think super long term. Minimum years, ideally 5 to 10 and in decades, right? At least in terms of like purely like, again, things will change, but if you're like just effort and skill level, you just know like, I want to be God. Then it's like, okay, 10, 20, 30 years from now, I'll be XYZ good at this thing. Let me just fucking put in the work because I don't even have to think about tomorrow. I just have to do the thing, right? We don't want to think on what to do. We want to just think when doing to the best of our ability. That's the way I see it. But let's see, QTE, every time I listen to you, I feel like I want to draw for 12 hours. I appreciate that. But again, remember, I only draw for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, roughly, right? So it's all about the effort. I can't put fucking 12 hours of consistent effort. I'm just normal. But clearly, just through like an hour and a half, like during this chat, maybe I actually only drew for an hour and 10 minutes because I've been talking like hour and 20 minutes, right? But just through consistent effort on the right things, there are right things, right? Especially when it comes to like the beginning of drawing. And you guys are young. I want to set you guys up right. And girls, right? And girls, haha, meme, meme. But I said meme, like meme. Anyways, the point is, if there are young people watching my channel, I want to instill the mindset that took me until the age of 25 to get to, which is success is guaranteed as long as you put in the right types of work, put in a lot of effort, you enjoy the effort and you enjoy the errors, and you just think on a long time horizon. You just think long term, right? You build skills. Skills are the great equalizer. You'll always be valuable when you build the skills. And again, the mindset is you want to challenge yourself. You just really want to challenge yourself. Okay. And it's difficult. There are so many days where dude, 80% of the time I don't feel like drawing. Like literally 80% of the time I don't feel like drawing. But when I think about the fact that, okay, it's not about drawing, it's just let me just focus on putting as much effort as I can as possible. Then the reward is just how hard I tried. The reward is just, okay, I just want to try as much as I can. Some days you'll be at 20% in terms of your capacity. But are you doing as much of that 20% as possible? Fuck yeah. Great. If you could have done more, wonderful. You know you could have done more. Your capacity to do more consistently gets better, right? Dude, I didn't know I could draw these shapes. I could not draw something like this a month ago at all. But then I got feedback from the ArtWad, like group community thing. They said silhouette, they said function, and now all I've been doing for the past 3 weeks is thinking about silhouette and function, and boom, right? And this is all built on my ability to spatially reason. So yeah, spatial reasoning is king, right? Anyways, green second, stay hard. I'm always hard. I'm sure everybody knows I'm always hard, right? But do I have any catchphrases? Hashtag Vigifamming, that's what it means. We're just jerking ourselves off. Hashtag Vigifam, let's go. Long-term vision, stickers, t-shirts, hats, right? Caps, winter hats, hoodies. You know, we're gonna be an empire, everybody. We're gonna be an empire, but long-term, right? Give me 20 years, we'll be an empire. But I returned to drawing because of ArtWad. ArtWad is underrated. Proco is overrated. ArtWad is underrated, right? Because like I genuinely believe they're going to change art education forever. I genuinely believe that, which is why I'm such a fucking dick rider, right? Because you guys can see everything I've done in terms of progress is ArtWad. This is purely because of your boy Antonio Stapertz. Antonio, I love you, right? I hope he never bans this channel because like I just hope he doesn't, right? Well, they know I exist and they've seen my channel. He's clearly looked at it, so he's probably like, this is fine, right? Like he probably sees this as just good advertising, right? Hopefully, because again, I fucking did like all those shorts as part of the ArtWad partner program, right? Like I got the opportunity to do that, so that's cool, that's wonderful, and I'm always fucking directing people to them. Proco is overrated. I wouldn't go that far. Proco is just very popular, therefore, like there'll be people who think they're 10 times better than they are, and people who will like give them shit, whatever. But Proco is a great resource. Like Stan Prokopenko, dude, like he literally it's because of him that Antonio even got the spotlight. Antonio's video, ArtWad, what is it? 6 steps to draw anything from imagination, or 6 steps to draw anything. That's because Proco hosted him. They use their platform, sorry, all the shitty enunciation, I do apologize, but they use their platform, like he uses it in such a genuinely kind way, which is to give other artists a voice who he believes bring value to the community. And that's what Proco has actually become now. It's just so much of Proco has just been him allowing other artists to use their platform, to use Proco's platform to teach, which is amazing. So I wouldn't go that far. I think Proco just has a lot of subscribers, and when you're that big, and they are the biggest, I believe, right? Yeah, like you can think they're overrated, but like Stan is just he's done so much for the art community. I can't ever say anything negative, right? But his beard could use work. I think it needs a lineup. I feel like ArtWad pays you. Bro, I fucking wish ArtWad pays me, right? They've been paying me in skills, purely on the effort that I put in. So technically, they've been paying me dividends because I've been putting all that effort, right? But no, I mean, like, I haven't become affiliated. Who knows if I ever will. When I do, you can be fucking damn sure that my thumbnail will be jizzing over that, being like, I'm affiliated. Oh my god, I'm a dick writer and I'm affiliated. Like, obviously, right? But let's see, let's see. This channel's gonna blow up at one point, anyways, right? My belief, you can guys fucking let this moment be immortalized in time. My belief is over the course of the next couple years, when I'm going off on portraits and figures from the Art World Portrait and Figure Roadmap, and I guess, of course, I'll be showing them. My belief is that that specific topic of drawing is going to attract a shit ton of people. And, that video, this video is for beginner artists, that's going to keep bringing in new people, right? Keep bringing in views. It's like the fucking it's like goddamn it's like the goddamn golden goose for the YouTube algorithm in terms of combination of thumbnail and video title, right? But with all that being said, everybody's fucked off now. 3 people watching, wonderful. With all that being said, I am done, right? I'm just fucking answering your questions. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really hope you drew along. I hope you guys really push your brain, right? Or if you didn't draw along, I hope you learned something. And if there's one thing you learned, I hope it was, damn, I can just keep getting better at pushing myself. And as long as I keep getting better, remember, focus is a skill. Expect yourself to win. I think if you go back to me narrating this experience, I forgot everything multiple times, but I kept putting myself back there to the best of my ability. Keywords, best of my ability. As much focus, best of my ability, right? Everyone is gone. Yeah, everyone has fucked off. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, right? Thank you very much to the individuals who came in at any point, because I know like people jump in, they're like, this guy's fucking annoying, and they fuck off. Some people come in for a few minutes, but everybody who was interested, I appreciate it, right? Anyone can draw. Anyone can draw. You can be one of them, right? Let's all become great together. And with all that shit, good shit out of the way. As always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please, give me money. Just give me a second.